Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's 5 p.m. my time, so it's the end of a work day for me. And what what a day it's been. How are all of you doing? I hope you all have had a great day or a great morning or a good evening, depending on where you are. Hi, Lizzie V. Hi, Carol. Oh, Royal Daily Tea is here? Okay. Yes. So today was supposed to be a collab, but unfortunately, Michelle couldn't make it, but that's okay. We're gonna reschedule. We're gonna have another one. I blanked for a second, Carol, but yeah, soon we'll have a collab on this channel soon. Hi, Aussie Ann. I'm so glad you made it live. I feel like it's been a long time since I've chatted with you, right, Aussie Ann? Hi, Peekaboo. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks for being here. Oh, Peekaboo's reminding everyone to please hit the like button. I appreciate it greatly. Hi, Tanya. Cold and wet Australia. Wow. Well, it's hot where I am. Luckily, it's a little bit cooler. I think tomorrow it's gonna be like high 80s Fahrenheit, which is not so bad when you get triple digits. So I am not complaining about that at all. Hi, Lulu's mom. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Steve. I know I love these chats too. And today I want to make it fun. And yeah, I don't know about all of you, but I am markled out. Like the stories that are coming out just don't, I don't know, like they don't seem very interesting to me. I don't know if you all feel the same. Like there are things that are okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this there's not much analysis you could do, right? Like I don't know. You guys tell me, what do you think about it? Hi, Gilly. Thanks for being here. Hi, Carol. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I'm actually, believe it or not, at 40.5 now. So almost at 41. It's amazing. Hi, Kat. Hi, Elsa from New York City. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Alice. Hi, Andrea and Sue. Hi, Lisbeth. Hi, Nita from NYC. So we have two people from New York City. I love New York City. Oh my goodness. The last time I went to New York City, when was it? 2023. I have family that lives in Long Island, and I visited family and we went into the city, and I just love it. My favorite thing to do, which unfortunately was not a possibility when I went in 2023, was to see um Phantom of the Opera at, I think it was called the Majestic Theater, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately, they it ended there. Hopefully it comes back though, and it's actually touring in Southern California August of next July, August next year. So I'm definitely gonna go see it then. Oh, and also everybody, I want to thank you so much for being here. And I want to ask you, in lieu of super chats and super stickers, please consider a donation to the domestic violence hotline. Their information is on the screen. If you need to reach out to them, I sincerely hope you don't need to reach out to them. But if you do, their information is right here. And you can find a link to donate in the description of this video. So thanks again, everybody, for being here and for your consideration in donating to a much needed and very important cause. Tanya says, I'm so over druggy and twerkles. Yeah, it's just so, it's boring. Like, okay, so these people, we heard about how there could be, or there was a meeting between two of their communication staff, and who leaked the story. There's not much analysis really, I feel, to do about it or to talk about it. And um and Harry's visit today, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Pamela is markled out also because they're beige. Lulu's mom says yes. Yes, 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 they are. They are absolutely beige and wrinkled. and wrinkled. Hi, Amber. Thanks for being here. Oh, thank you, Pamela. I love that. I love that. I appreciate it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Carol says, saw Phantom of the Opera while touring in Florida. I bought tickets for my mom and myself for her birthday. We enjoyed it so much. It's the absolute best. It's my favorite musical. There's nothing like seeing it live. The music is just so powerful. I love Phantom. It's my absolute number 1 favorite thing. Hi, Juanita from Australia. Hi, Follow Your Nature. Thanks for being here, everybody. So, I had an idea today. Lizzie's asking, why is Harry in Angola? So, I saw also that there was an article that came out. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was in the Telegraph about um, paid witnesses. Does that ring a bell for anybody? And that was a story that came out like over the weekend, I think, and then all of a sudden, um, this story of the meeting in London between the two communication offices or people representing the two communication offices between Harry and Meghan's and the palaces or King Charles's, I'm not sure. Um, and you know what was wild? I was watching Dan Wooten today, and he was saying that the the meeting actually took place last Wednesday, but the news wasn't published until Sunday. And on Sunday we had Wimbledon. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We had Wimbledon and potentially that other article. I'm going to keep my eye out to see if any of you know which article I'm talking about. And maybe if the chat does slow down a little bit, I can take a second to see if I can find it. Hi, O Lemon. Hi, TM. I haven't seen you in a long time, TM. I'm glad you were able to make it. Thanks for being here. Thank you, thank you. So it seems like maybe the chat has slowed down a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. What what would be a good search? Prince Harry. Um, oh my goodness. Trial update. Let's see if that brings anything up. Um, no, it's not that. Let me come back to the chat. Let me see if any of you know which one. Yep, he's cosplaying Diana again. Uh-huh. Absolutely. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Zephyr. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. Is that ring? It's up on Twitter at the moment, Juanita says. I can't remember where it was published. Um, I think it maybe in the article it said paid witnesses. Okay, here it is. Okay, here we go. Found it, found it, found it. Okay, let me share my screen. And it's this one. Okay, so it looks like it was published. Oops, what happened? Why did this happen? Maybe I have to remove this. Let's try. There we go. Okay, and what I can do really quick is try to zoom in. There. All right. Okay, so this article was published on the 12th, so that would have been Saturday, and it was the day after this that that other article was published. And I haven't read this article, but maybe we can go through it together if you are all interested. What is this? We don't need advertisements here. You know, it really gives me away, right? This is the hard part of sharing my screen because you guys see some of the stores that I visit the website. Deborah says the court is asking Harry to show proof if he paid any witnesses. Yep. Hi, Tam. Thanks for being here. Hi, McMeow. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for being here, everybody. So this article, it says Prince Harry's lawyers must produce documents on alleged payments to witnesses in latest legal claim. Harry and six others, including actress Liz, I thought her name was Elizabeth Hurley. Sir Elton John and his husband David Furnish are suing Daily Mail publisher Associated Newspapers Limited. In May, A&L's lawyers asked the High Court to let them see documents that relate to payments, royalties, or inducements. Yesterday, Mr. Justice Nicklin ruled paperwork must be handed over. He said, I am satisfied that documents held by the claimants that can support a case that a witness has been paid or offered other inducement for their evidence, whether directly or indirectly, should be disclosed. That is because there is a real prospect that Associated will be able to rely upon this evidence to attack the credibility of such witnesses. Ultimately, the issue of whether the payment or inducement does affect the credibility of any witness is a matter to be resolved at trial. A&L denies its accusers' claims that it hired private investigators to tap phones and even carry out burglaries. It previously described the claims as lurid and simply preposterous. A trial is expected to start in January and last for 9 weeks. So there it is. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And so, okay, that article came out on Saturday. It was the following day that we saw the I know, Alice. It doesn't help. You know, I'm targeted, okay? It's not my fault. These things show up on my screen, show up on my feed, and then I click and here we are. I know I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. You know what's hilarious, TM? My friend sent me the picture of that triangular bag. And that's why it's showing up there because my friend actually really likes that bag. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Carol says Matt Wilkinson is fair and a balanced royal reporter. That's good to know. Hi, Dallas. Hi, Ocean Gal. Thanks. Thanks. It's a responsibility and a burden at the same time, right? Thank you, Ocean Gal. I appreciate it. Lisa says it's probably another nothing burger. Nothing will come out of it. It's not illegal to pay witnesses, so he will get away with it. Yep. I mean, I don't know about the legality behind it, but it's um it's just wild that this really negative story comes out and it's being detracted or we're distracted because we're talking about this meeting that happened, and then today news came out that Harry is so upset that the meeting was leaked and he didn't leak it. So, yeah. Deborah says, let's face it, Harry is doing what the crown has taught him. So, what does it say about who doesn't like it? Are we being selective? So, I don't know much about that, Deborah. And I can't really comment on it, but I will leave it in the chat if anyone wants to. And Lisbeth says it is Elizabeth Hurley. Technically, everyone calls her Liz, though. Aussie Ann says you can never have too many bags. I have to tell you all, one of my major accomplishments this year was that I did spring cleaning in my home, and I have a finite space for purses. Like, literally, if I buy something has to exit my home because there's no room for it. I am at capacity, and that's kind of the way people keep their homes clean, right? One in, one out. And I'm trying to live by that to maintain this beautiful spring cleaning I did. Um, but yeah, you can never have too many. It's the storage that's the problem. Yep. All right, everybody. So let me see. Is there anything else all of you want to talk about? Let's see. Ocean Gale says, I think Harry or Meghan leaked the story. What do you all think? It would make sense if Harry is upset about it because he has no idea that Meghan was the one that released the story. Lisbeth says Meg's leaked the meeting story. It happened on Wednesday, but wasn't dropped till Saturday when Catherine was at Wimbledon. That is so, Meg's exactly, exactly. I My suspicions agree with that, and, they talk about this reconciliation that's happening and dude, they're 2 communications officers that are meeting, like, if anything, it seems more about PR than it does about reconciliation. I mean, if you wanted to reconcile with someone, you wouldn't send one of your communications people or one of your staff or one of your I mean, I don't know, someone that's not, um, part of the family to go and reconcile with someone else or to communicate with someone else who isn't part of the family. But you all let me know what you think. Lisa says, I believe royal family floating a narrative to test popular opinion, reconciliation, not popular sentiment at all. So Lisa, that could be it too. And there people don't seem to be on board with it. I was about to ask something. Okay, so here's my question. The lady who represents Harry and Meghan, her name is Meredith, I believe. Meredith Maines, not to be confused with the Meredith that the Sidley twins talk about, who is basically gaslighting all of us about her previous commentary. But anyways, I'm sidetracked there. Who do you think like, if is Meredith based out of Southern California? And if so, how did she end up in London? Like, was she on vacation and she decided to meet with the Kensington Palace people, or did someone arrange that meeting? How did she get over there if she's an American? And I think that question will, I don't know, might answer the problem. They call it the container method. Thank you, Pamela. I didn't realize there was a name to it. Shoes are my problem. Alice says I can't stop buying them. I hear you. I have some Nikes arriving tomorrow. Got them at a deal. But yeah, I have some Nikes coming tomorrow. And in my defense, I'm planning on going to Disney a lot, so I need comfortable shoes. So it's It's practical, right? Anyways, Lulu's mom says, "My bags have names. I love them all." That's I love that. I love that. Aussie Ann says, "I'm hooked on Sheen." I hear you, Aussie Ann. Same, same. McMeow says, "Everyone hit the like button." Yes, please. Thank you. Oh, Lemon, I'm doing the don't buy anything challenge. It's not working. Let's do it together. Let's do it together, see if we could, have willpower. I think we can do it temporarily at least, right? Yeah. Lizzie says, "You have taught us that when a narcissist loses control, they sabotage any reconciliation possible with family members and friends." And I mean, see exactly what it is. I wonder who leaked it, and it could be another method of sabotage. And an interesting aspect of this, assuming that Megan was the one that leaked it, right? So if we assume Megan is the one that leaked it, she could see that Harry is trying to reconcile, and what is the best way for her to throw a wrench in that plan? Call the paparazzi and stage it. So then it looks like Harry is not trustworthy, even though it was Megan that actually called the Paps, and perhaps Harry, didn't know about it. Lisa says, "Some people said it might have been William that leaked it, but I can't see that." Yeah, I don't see that either. I feel like what is that saying? Occam's razor, is that what it's called? Where usually the simplest explanation is the most likely to be true. And to me, if we look at history, who's the one that usually leaks these stories? What side does it usually come out of? And um, if we want to know, there's another saying. I'm drawing a blank. The best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, and I guess you can say the best I guess not predictor, but indicator of current behavior is relevant past behavior. So who has been leaking these stories historically? Tanya says the photo of the three of them at the outside table, no drinks, convenient a pap was there to take the picture. And you would think that you would be a lot more careful about that, right? Going outside, um, if you're having a private meeting. I don't know. Tam s Tam says, "I wonder if Harold came home to find her sobbing on the floor at the base of the stairs for being blamed for the leak." I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Through the Looking Glass says Megan couldn't go to Africa with Harry because it would be too dangerous. It's wild, right? It's wild the things that they come up with. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Harry is out of money. I am inclined to believe this is true. Juanita, I see that completely. Steve, you gals are mad for shoes and purses. Yep. I admit it. Guilty. Absolutely guilty. Deborah says by Charles sending one of his men, H&M gets to paint a narrative that they're gaining with Pa. Yep. Uh, Dolly says Lady C said it's illegal to snap photos of people on private property. Harry should sue the photographer. Oh my. I didn't know that was the case. And wow. Wow. Carol says the official response is she was checking on the UK staff. Also, they met with Buckingham Palace. Kensington Palace is for William and Catherine. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carol. Elizabeth says it had to be arranged. You can't just walk up to Kensington Palace and ask to meet Charles's aide and actually do it. Yeah. Make me out. You have to cover your feet with something. You need protection. Yeah, we have delicate feet. Yeah. Occam's razor. Thank you, Tam. Kelly says Megan shows her jealousy every time she pulls a stunt, every time Catherine does something. Absolutely. You are on the money, Kelly. I agree with this. Margaret says William wouldn't sabotage. That's a good point, Margaret. That's a good point. William wouldn't say drop this news on Sunday, right? If it happened on Wednesday. So I I agree with you there. Who benefits from the leak? Lisa says, not the palace. Deborah says has his hands. He can't make the money because she has told him to say he can't expect big deals without her. The problem is she ain't good for business. She is not, and she's deluded in her capabilities. Yeah. Uh, Maria says, "Don't we think this whole thing was designed to drive a wedge between Charles and William?" It it totally could be. Carol says Neil Sean reported it was Harry reaching out to get money. I would not be surprised if the goal was financial. I just wonder, like, why the communication people? It's weird. I don't know. And I mean, I don't know much about what the roles of these different um, employees are between these organizations. So I don't get it. It's just so odd that it would be. I wonder if Meredith used to work with these people in their history and they were just networking, right? Can you imagine all of this and they weren't even talking about Harry and Meghan? That actually kind of makes me laugh. If they were just meeting like, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you be a reference?" Actually, maybe that's what it is. Meredith is like, "Dude, I can't work for these people anymore. I can't. Can you be my recommendation because I cannot ask Megan for it?" Kelly says every time allegedly, this is all hypothetical. I'm just making it up. Kelly says every time Catherine looks sensational or is doing a duty, I always wonder what Megan is going to pull. That's a good point, and maybe that's a good predictor of, um, like predicting Megan's behavior. Kate says Harry's paranoia reminds me of some of the narcs I know. I had to unlearn a lot of what they convinced me of. That paranoia, I hear you, Kate. I've mentioned before that my stepmom is a malignant narcissist. And I kid you not, like, no matter what I did, I was doing the wrong thing. So I'll give you all an example. In my culture, when you refer You refer to the older generation as aunts and uncles, even if they are not your aunt or your uncle. And then on top of that, you either, um, there's a different word for an aunt on your mom's side and an aunt on your dad's side. So my stepmom is actually my mom's cousin, so distant cousin, but like third cousin or something. So if I were to see her, I should actually call her aunt from my mom's side, right? But she did not like my mom. You know what? I'm putting that mildly. She hated my mom. So when I wanna say, gosh, I don't wanna copy Megan and say when I was, 11, but it was literally when I was in 8th grade, and my dad was reintroducing my stepmom as his partner because like I said, she was a relative and we used to be around her. So when I met her, imagine like me as a child, I'm like, okay, when I meet her, do I call her aunt on my mom's side or aunt on my dad's side? So I called her aunt on my dad's side and she jumped down my throat. She's like, what? Do you think I'm your dad's sister? And I was like, I didn't want to call you aunt on my mom's side because I know you don't like my mom. Like literally the little like there's no step you can take that's right. Everything is a sign that you're against them. And this is the type of personality that we're dealing with, I think, when we look at Megan. And imagine, like, I wasn't around my stepmom a whole lot. My dad protected me from her, but imagine living with that paranoia day in and day out. And also, Harry is a little bit paranoid, I'm sorry, himself. So it definitely does not help. Lisbeth says, Neil Sean said the photog rented the balcony across for 4 days. They have little AC over there and it's been boiling hot. So, Lisbeth, are you saying that the photographer knew that this meeting was going to happen and so they waited for 4 days? Aussie Ann says they are broke and desperate. I think so too. Miss Panda says Catherine got a standing ovation at Wimbledon. Megan could not stand that. I bet. I bet. Carol says, "Can I say William gave me Prince Philip vibes?" Oh, you're right, Carol. I didn't think of it that way, but the coat or the suit jacket, I totally see that. Zephyr says, "Always follow the money." Pamela says, "Why is Harry totally paranoid about everyone except the person he should suspect, Megan?" Because Megan has, there's this thing with a narcissist that it's a very us versus them dynamic. So as soon as someone displays the littlest negativity, hesitancy, whatever that the narcissist doesn't like, all of a sudden that person is no longer with us, they're against us. And it's very black and white thinking. And I think that's what it comes down to. I think Harry was already paranoid, especially because you've heard him say how, how the press has played so negatively in his previous relationship. So he's already has a paranoid type of thinking. And if you think about it, Diana had some paranoia too, right? Justified or not, she did think that her phone was being recorded, and ultimately it ended up being true, and that she was being followed, and the men in the gray suits and all of that. So this could be something that Harry grew up with. So that could be a whole other thing too. Maria says we could be misreading the whole thing. It may have been pre-divorce negotiations. Oh, Maria, that that's a thing I did not think of. Miss Panda says maybe Harry and Meghan are trying to get a job with Kensington Palace. They're like, "We can't work for her anymore. We wanna come over to this side." Zephyr says they weren't networking, it was just about money and Meredith wants an extraction. Kat says it's a private club called the Royal Overseas League, possibly. I might be confused. Interesting. Lisa says, "I think Megan's got Harry believing that she is killing it on the business side." Well, where's the money? Where's the money? Look at the bank accounts, Harry. Log in, check your account balances. Oh my gosh. Oh my good. And that is one of the things that narcissists control, the finances, right? So, like I remember when I was married, I really did not know much about what was happening with the money. Um yeah. So that that could be something that's going on too. Carol says, Tobin, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Andreas was at Daily Mail for 20 years, Charles's communication secretary. Lisbeth says, in my honest opinion, Harry wants Charles to make his titles and multi-million dollar allowance permanent forever, in spite William being king. Could totally be. Pamela Meredith will help them get money because she's afraid her paycheck will bounce. Yeah, she's motivated. She's motivated. Yep. Oh, Maria, how am I so normal after suffering the stepmother trauma? Years and years of therapy. And to be quite honest with you, when my dad passed away, I no longer had to believe in the illusion, right? And when my dad passed away, my stepmom was particularly nasty in those last days, which, shouldn't be a surprise because of her behavior historically. And when I got away from it, I really started the healing, and I was very, very, very angry after my dad passed away. I had anger towards my dad, I had anger towards my stepmom, towards my dad's family, and one of the most groundbreaking things was I sat down with a cousin, and this cousin didn't really grow up with me, but I started talking about all the things my stepmom has done, and her jaw dropped, and she's like, "She sounds like a malignant narcissist." And as soon as I could put a label on it, that's when my healing began, because I know some people say you don't need to put a label on it. It doesn't matter what the behavior is, but the label is validating because my entire life I've gone thinking, maybe I did something wrong. My dad is still married to her. My dad's family is still respectful and nice to her. Maybe I'm the one that was the problem, right? But as soon as that label was slapped on and I started looking at the characteristics of malignant narcissists, I started recognizing what happened to me was not my fault. I was a child. And really, that's when my healing began. And I have to tell you, starting this channel has accelerated my healing beyond anything, because as I create the videos, I'm learning also. So, and studying Megan really helps too, because I see my stepmom a lot in Megan, and it's just more validating. So sorry if I went on a long tangent about that one. Kelly says on both days at Wimbledon, someone yelled, "Love you, Kate," every time Catherine gives out awards. I love it. I love it. Deborah says, nothing wrong with trying to mend things with your son. If Haas can't see how he hurt his family, he will only hurt them again. Yep. Margaret says, Harry is paranoia personified. Yeah. Both Prince William and Prince Edward resemble Philip a lot. I love it. I love it. Chelsea or Lisa says, Chelsea or Cressida, possibly both, said Harry would see people in bushes when nobody was there. Oh, I haven't heard that, Lisa. I haven't heard that. Deborah says, um, exactly, 100%. Harry exposed them publicly, so he needs to apologize publicly. He does. He does need to apologize. Lizzie says that's true. I think they need to get permission to get divorced because they are titled. Oh, I didn't know that. Lisa says narcs age like milk. The older they get, they just get sour. No longer the youngest, prettiest, charming, and exposed for bad behavior. They usually end up alone unless they are wealthy. That is very well said, Lisa. Yeah. Uh, blah, blah, blah says she told on him again that he went to Angola for diamonds. Those landmine pictures are old. Look here, I'm over here, she told me. I didn't realize that. But seriously, anything that's financial, I I wouldn't be surprised. Laura is asking if my stepmom is still living. As far as I know, yes. Um, and it's been so my dad passed away January of 2022. I have not had contact with that side of the family since my dad's funeral, which was January 27 of 2022. So you can imagine the distance helps the healing 100%. Yeah. Lisa says, sub early on, and this is the first live chat alert I received. Inspire of watching everything you drop. I'm so glad YouTube worked today. Oh, thank you, Lisa. And I'm glad it worked too. I'm glad it worked too. Blah 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 says Harry needed that meeting. He will owe 44 million US dollars if found guilty in court case. So he rushed to Angola for those diamonds. Yikes. Oh, thank you, Tam. Thank you. Pamela says, with narcs listing typical behaviors and seeing that they check all the boxes explains a lot. Yes, and it's so validating. It's so validating. Um, I just want to remind everyone again, in lieu of super chats and super stickers, please consider a donation. And I appreciate it so much. It's absolutely cathartic. And you know, Lisa, I knew it's weird because when I first started this channel and I started talking about my experiences, I started having a lot of nightmares about my ex husband, about my stepmom. And I think that was my brain like adjusting, and I don't have those nightmares anymore. So I really feel this channel has helped me so much too. Carol says you have created a community that supports who suffered narcissistic abuse, and I'm so honored and thankful that this has all happened. Yeah. Miss Panda says, Lisa, that sums up my mother in law. The only reason anyone deals with her is money. Yeah. Elizabeth also agrees with Lisa that Harry saw paps in the bushes everywhere. You're right, Tam. That's going to be, her daughter is going to be her competition. Yeah. Oh, look who's here. Hi, baby grandma. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Lulu's mom says writing is cathartic, and that's what I do. That's beautiful. Thank you, Miss Panda. You know, I feel like there's a mission here, right? And it's bigger is and I don't wanna sound like I'm grandiose, I'm not. It's just, you know, there's opportunities I feel to help others and help people, and if I can make a tiny dent in someone's life for the positive, I'm gonna do my best to do it. Lisa says, "The more you live in reality, the worse the narc gets with rewriting history, painting you black, and discrediting you. Step into the light and never engage. Let them go. Choose yourself." Incredibly well said. Thank you so much. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it. So we're 38 minutes into this live and we didn't start the game I had prepped. Let me know in the chat if you want to continue just having a conversation like this, or if you want to play the disaster dinner party game I had planned. We can always play it another time. Um, but you all let me know. I love it, baby grandma, and I read your comments and I read how you all uplift and support each other. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Okay, Lizzie wants to play the game. Let me see if a few other people respond. I don't think we can finish the game, but at least we can get the game started and maybe we can okay, Carol wants to play the game. Okay, let's play the game. So like I said, I've been markled out. I'm just so I don't like the current stories that are coming out. There's not much I feel to talk about other than reading the article and I feel there are so many people that are already providing such insightful commentary. I don't feel like there's much I can do. So I thought, what can we do for this live stream? And I thought we could play a game called Disaster Dinner Party. And the goal of this game is we are going to plan a disaster dinner party at Harry and Meghan's house. It's going to be at their house, but we are the hosts and we are the planning committee. And we are going to be inviting celebrities that display toxic behaviors. So we're going to come up with the guest list. And oh, Lofty Morgan says, game, I'll put the kettle on. Uh, Tam is asking, based on your experience, do you think Harold will ever wake up? It's a deep, deep web that has been spun around him. And I think the only successful way is if he has people that are going to be there when he falls. Um, and I really hope for that. Yeah. Um, Elizabeth, does that mean Meg is cooking? Sure. Oh my goodness. Baby grandma says, I'm here for the duration, no matter how long. Okay, you guys are already listing the guests. Okay, let's go to the first question. Let's iron out the guest list. Who are the toxic celebrities that are invited? And as you guys write these, I'm going to create a banner where I list off all the names because we are going to need these names. Um, oh, let's see. Okay, so far we have, did that work? Okay, so far we have Ellen and Oprah. Let's see. Keanu Reeves, is he toxic though? I'll add him, but I feel like he's such a nice guy. Amber Heard, Jada Smith, Angelina Jolie. Okay, let me go back to the banner. So, oops, edit. So let's see. What did you all say? You said Jada, Amber Heard. Um, Someone said Keanu. Who did I miss? Angelina. Okay, here. Let's put that down there. Um, and let me see. Let me see the chat again. Okay, did I miss anyone? Tom Cruise, Brooklyn Beckham and wife, Rachel Ziegler. Oh my gosh, this is a huge list. Okay, gosh, I wish I had a better way of displaying all of these names. Um, let's see. Someone said Rosie. Um, Let me go back to your comments. Sorry, everybody. Tyler Perry, Hilaria, Katy Perry. Tyler Perry, someone said. Oh my goodness, sorry for being slow. I should probably write it down. Katy Perry. Someone said Hilaria, Hillary. Let's save that. Okay. Oh, Chrissy Teigen is a good one. J Lo. What else did I see over there? Gail King. Okay, are you guys satisfied? Okay, Jamie Kern Lima, Gwyneth. Oh my goodness. Will Smith, Marcus Anderson. Okay, let's see. So we have Will Smith, Marcus Anderson. Uh, why is my short-term memory not the best? Let's see. Blake, you're right. I need Blake. Blake, Ryan Reynolds, Diddy. Blake, Ryan Reynolds, Diddy. Blake, Ryan Reynolds, Diddy. So I'll just say Blake and Ryan, Diddy. I think that's the trick to keep repeating it. So, okay, I wanted to leave the names here because we need the guest list. Oh, oh my goodness. Okay, Omid Scobie, you guys wrote. Um, okay, let me see. Omid Scobie and Jamie Kern Lima. Okay, I'm just going to add Omid Scobie, Jamie Kern Lima, and we're good. We're going to start the game. Um, Scobie and Jamie Kern Lima. Okay, so we have our guest list. There's our guest list. What do you all think about this guest list? I'm sorry, I find this so hilarious because this is going to be fun. Okay, so let's go to the first question. Who will be sitting next to Harry? From this guest list, and it's scrolling across the bottom, who will sit next to Harry? What do you all think? And while you all answer that, I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. I'll be right back. Let's see, all of them screaming at once, "Look at me!" Yep, they certainly will be. They certainly will be. Samantha Markle. Okay, I'll add the lady who said Megan was special. Who was that? I don't remember. Okay, so people are saying Rosie and Blake will be sitting next to Harry on either side, you think? Um, who do I think would sit next to Harry? I think, let's see. Did I put Oprah there? Oprah should be there. I think Oprah and Gayle King would sit on either side of him to try to get the inside scoop because ultimately, I don't think people are very interested in Meghan herself. I think they're interested in Harry. And unfortunately, Oprah is there. Harry is a package deal. So that's what I think. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth says, "Is this going to be a murder mystery? Because I could see clashes there." That would be a fun game to set up too, Elizabeth. Let me think about how to set up um, a game like Clue and how we would do it in a live stream. Deb says Diddy would sit, Marcus. Tanya says Jada on one side, Ellen on the other. Tam says the kids' table. Oh, Maria, nobody will sit next to Harry. Megan will push them out. Diddy, Kiana, Hilaria, because she's as dumb as him. Security, Lulu's mom said, will be sitting next to Harry. That makes complete sense. He would want to play musical chairs, Kat says. Awesome. Awesome. So, on that note, now let's switch gears. Who's going to sit next to Megan? I just came up with an answer for this, but I'm gonna wait and see what you all think. Okay, so Lisbeth says Megan will sit next to Harry so she can control him. She used to do that. Oh, that's very, very true, Lisbeth. Because I remember people would get upset. I think it was in Tom Bower's Revenge. People would get upset that they would switch place cards around because that is um, tradition that they would partners are separated or married couples I think are separated at dinners or receptions to encourage conversation with people. Kat says he will be facing the wall in the corner. Roxanne says no one will sit next to Megan. Lulu says the man with the biggest wallet. Yep, not surprised. Not surprised. Megan's dad, so they can finally meet. Wouldn't that be wondrous? Honestly. Amber Heard and Blake Lively would be sitting next to Megan. Can you imagine that? Oh my goodness. Next to Megan would be Diana's ghost. Megan's siblings should be flanking her. TM says, Hilaria for Megan. So they You are on it, Lofty. You are on it. I totally see that. Highly sensitive introvert says Oprah, and Lisbeth says Marcus. Hillary will be doing headstands and yoga in the corner. Her Instagram is wild. Like I follow her, but I can't watch it. I can't watch it. It's too much of the same thing over and over again. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys my answer. My answer is she's gonna sit like she's the centerpiece of the table. She's gonna be in the middle and she's gonna be sitting next to everybody. She's gonna be the middle. Yep, that's what I think. So let's see what other responses we have. Oh, thank you, crafting with Indiana Jones. Thank you so much. Lisa says empty chairs will be on either side of her, like at Wimbledon. Oh my goodness. Um, Elizabeth says, "You don't sit with your spouse, you can talk at home." Yep. Tia or in Harry and Meghan's case, you can argue at home. Allegedly, allegedly. TM says Tom Bauer would sit next to Megan. Margaret says the room just cleared out. No one wants the honor of sitting next to her. Absolutely. Tanya says she'll be sitting at the top of the table telling her dish soap letter story. Yep. Tyler and Marcus. Nitzy says Tom Bauer and then the ghost of Queen Elizabeth. Man, yeah. Meg demands that Gail tie her shoes. Yikes. Okay, let's get to the next question. The next question is, who shows up late and demands an announcement of their arrival? Who do you think of our guest list? Who do you think shows up late and demands the announcement? So this would be already at Harry and Meghan's house. So um, I mean, I could imagine Megan being like, "Yeah, it's my house, but I'm still gonna be the one to make an entrance." So, but I'll let you all come up with your responses and what you think about that, and while you do, I'm gonna take a sip of my tea again. I'll be right back. I have to tell you, I'm having a lot of fun. This is a great time. Um, Crafting says, I've learned so much on your channel and I survived living and being married to a narcissist. Thank you so much, Crafting. And I'm so sorry for your experience. And um, I'm glad that that's written in past tense because I hope that that means you have freedom. Yeah, I hope so. Miss Panda says Megan will be wherever the camera is pointed. Yeah, she'll be at the head of the table with her tiara on. Lizzie says her mom will show up late. Lo will show up late. Elizabeth says Megan will. Oprah, Jada, Rachel. So I don't know. I forgot to add Rachel Ziegler to this list, but I know some of you said Rachel Ziegler. And Tam, I don't know if you mean Rachel Ziegler or Rachel Meghan Markle. So Meghan and Harry would be the ones. Pamela says Jada is the most full of herself. She'd make a late arrival. Yep. Oh my goodness. Ellen DeGenerate. I love that, Lisa. I've never heard that. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next question. And actually, let's see. The Sussex squad would arrive late and demand an announcement, or maybe they would be the ones announcing Megan walking in, right? Okay, so next question. And this, I mean, I feel like everyone on the list would be here, but let's say who do you think is the number one person out of everyone who outcompetes them all, who centers the conversation on their own struggles? Um, I'm gonna leave that there, and you guys Jada will want her private life. Um, oh, baby grandma says on a different note, I would love if you would start a channel called Surviving the Narc, where we can discuss our experiences. That baby grandma is a very, very good idea. I get nervous about doing something like that because ultimately I'm not a professional and I I wonder what I would do if I saw something that would be a red flag, you know? I don't know. I don't know. But let me think about it and let's see how this channel develops over time. I would love to be able to create a community that is supporting and uplifting for all of us. Unfortunately, it takes only one bad apple to spoil the bunch. So we'll see. We'll see if I do that. Um, Oh, Lemon says Harry. Harry will make it all about themselves. Alice says everyone. Everyone will be talking over each other. Rebecca says Chrissy. Uh, all of them, according to Carol. And let's see. Hilaria Donata says Samantha is kind of a squeaky wheel, so she would be the one that would be talking the most about her struggles. TM believes. And uh, sorry, Lisa, I don't know if I can pronounce that word right now, but it's just gonna be a mixture of voices of victimhood in one room, all set to a quarter of violinists. I love it. Lofty says, "Can you imagine if they played Never Have I Ever? It would never end." That that could be the next game, Lofty Morgan. Maybe the next game will be pick a bunch of celebrities and let's play Never have I ever. And what would they say? That's hilarious. Alice says, does anyone know that Monty Python sketch where they all one up each other with who had the hardest childhood? It would be like that, but worse and not funny. Oh, Captain Finity. This yeah. Perfection, perfection. So Captain Finity says the conversation would be, hilarious. She would be the center of it because she has said, "When I'm talking, you're not talking. When I'm talking, you are not talking." Oh, that's great. I love it. TM says, "If people didn't pay enough attention to Jada." Oh, TM, guess what? That is a question on the list. But okay, let's see. Let's go to the next question. Who would go way overboard on the compliment? So who would be just really extremely complimentary to everybody? And yeah, who do you guys think? Steve says a lot of people share their experiences on this channel because it's safe. I'm so very lucky to have that experience here. Absolutely. Alice says, Gail, I didn't have a particular person jump out in mind, but Alice, as soon as you said that, I could totally see Gail going overboard. Oh, Carol. I think okay, Alice, Carol, and Tanya, I totally see the 3 of them going way overboard on the compliments. Absolutely. Oprah, Jamie, and Gail. I could totally see that. Harry would be Mr. Complimenter, TM thinks. Yep. Not Megan, that's for sure. I would have to agree with you there, Maria. I do agree with you there. Um, Deborah says Ellen because she plays nice. Yep. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question, everybody. So, who tries to dominate the table? Um, none of them. They only compliment themselves. So, everyone, I'm gonna make this the last question, and I'll come up with another time for us to play this game again. Um, and we'll come up with the guest list again, and yeah, we'll do it again. This is the theme for the party is joy. I feel like this hypothetical could last forever. Like there's so much we could just add to it. The theme, the what day of the year did it fall on, and what did everybody if it was a potluck, what would people bring? Andrea says, "This is a nice community. A lot of toxic drama in the Mexican community, and the channels are not wholesome." I'm very lucky, Andrea, to have this community, and I don't even want to say to have this community. I'm just so very lucky to be part of this community, and you know, I am so grateful for it, and I don't take it for granted at all. And I really appreciate the kindness and generosity and the empathy you all display towards each other. It's really a beautiful thing. I may sometimes not be able to comment on every single comment, but when there are conversations, I try to read to see how you are all talking to each other, and it's definitely a beautiful thing. A potluck next. Oh, Lemon says we'll play. Okay, we'll play a potluck next and see who brings what. Lofty says, "I'd love it if you can come up with a question for us to bring to the next class so we can get our creative juices flowing." Oh, I see. So, Lofty, you mean for me to pose a question to all of you and then the next live stream you guys come up with an answer? Is that what you mean? And when you say question, do you mean like a hypothetical question like the games that we play? Um so let me know what you think. Lisa says the best way to overcome narc burn is to mock it. And I think I really like doing this on the lives, making it a funny place for us to just kick back and laugh and just have a good time because sometimes my videos can be so serious. So Lizzie says, I love it here. Thank you. RV, thank you so much, Lizzie. TM says, who can wear their red dress best? Yep. Yep. Miss Panda says, I felt homelessly lately. Nice to have a life to go to. I appreciate it, Miss Panda. I appreciate it greatly. Yep. The rainbow fruit would dominate the table, Steve says. Yes. Oh my goodness. It would be the entire table, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness. That's funny. That's funny. All right, everyone. Well, I want to thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it so much. Lofty Morgan, or Morgan, if you if you want, you can send me an email, and I will put my email right now in the comments. It's just my username, RVEALING, the narc at where did it not show up here? Okay. Okay, so thank you, Lofty Morgan. Send me your ideas. I would love to know. I appreciate all ideas. And if you've sent me an email and I haven't responded, apologies, sincerest apologies to all of you if I haven't responded. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Oh, here we go. Here's my email address. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You make you make this so fun. Absolutely so fun. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a good evening if it's nighttime for you, and a good morning if it's morning for you. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.